Welcome to Morning Flow. I'm Leo Bray, coming to you from Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. I'm here at this hour, 8:15 our time, Pacific time, Monday, and I'm here at the same time. Well, I'm here in Zoom at the same time, Thursday and Friday from Ruth Hardy Park. I'm also here Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. And please visit us at urbanyoga.org and Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook to check out the rest of the class schedule. And there's also links there where you can make donations to support these classes. You can donate via PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. We have classes every day with several different awesome teachers. And with that, get to the practice. We'll start sitting. You don't have to sit as I'm sitting. Sit in a way that is comfortable for you. Whatever that looks like. Get comfortable. Feel for your contact with the ground. Feel where you're touching down, where the ground is supporting you. Think about the length of your spine. Imagine the crown of your head rising up towards the ceiling, especially with the inhales. Close your eyes if you like. Each time you breathe in and your lungs fill, your spine lengthens out a bit. As you breathe out and the lungs empty, your spine contracts. Rising, inhale. Rooting, exhale. Observe your breathing to give it the time, the space to slow down and get deeper. Taking in these movements of the breath and the way those movements feel in your body. Maybe you're noticing other things besides the sort of primary rise of the inhale and root of the exhale. What else do you feel as you breathe in and breathe out, as these breaths grow deeper and slower? What else do you notice in your body as you focus inward, aside from what's going on with your breathing and the changes that each breath brings? Scan yourself, take in whatever there is to take in, gathering information. How does each part of you feel? Of particular importance, what's not feeling so great? Where might you feel a bit of stiffness or soreness? Making note of these things so you can take care of them during practice by skipping or modifying anything at all, anything that doesn't suit you. Whenever your attention drifts from these focal points of your breath, your body, just gently come back to noticing, back to observing yourself. If in addition to those shared intentions, you wish to set your own more specific intention for yourself for your practice today, let that finish coming together and take root for a few breaths. Before we start to move, let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth with a sigh. Let your eyes open up. I should add, I was just thinking of it as I'm taking my cleansing breaths. My friend's currently with me on Zoom. If at any point you can't hear me well enough, please unmute yourself and speak up to let me know. As we said before I started the recording, we're having some equipment issues here in the studio, so this is not the usual setup we're going with. And it's good to know. If you can't hear me, that means the recording isn't picking up my voice either, and your feedback will help folks watching us on YouTube later. Let's start at the top with the neck. Let your chin come down towards your chest. We'll start some nice, slow, gentle circles with our head. Move your left ear towards your shoulder and let your head tip back. Roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. Come on back to center. And be mindful of letting the head do the movement. Sometimes when you hear the cue, move your ear towards your shoulder might move towards your ear. And that produces a different result. Sometimes I'll even deliberately let my hands hang at my sides, rest on the ground instead of having them on my lap, because having my hands on my knees or in my lap might raise my shoulders a bit. Let them disengage more fully by dropping my hands to the floor. If you find a tight spot in your rolling, maybe you pause at the tight spot and rock back and forth a little bit. Ease out some of that tension. When you finish the next circle, start some in the other direction. Perhaps you've already changed direction, knowing that we pretty much do everything twice. Maybe you've done this with me before. This is a fairly common thing to do in a morning class or a gentle class. And when you finish your next circle, just lift your chin and look forward. Extend your arms out to the sides with maybe just your fingertips on the floor so you stay long in your spine. Inhale, lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, let your arm drape over your head so your fingertips come to rest by your right ear. And just let the weight of your arm gently bring your head to the left. Maybe lift your right hand, extend out through your fingertips like you're trying to find something over here and pick it up. This helps lengthen the trapezius muscle in the side of your neck. Don't want to go too high. You go higher, the muscle shortens. Maybe you can feel that tipping point where the trap is at its longest. Let your right hand down if it's raised. Let your neck stay relaxed and passive. Let your hand slide across your head. Slide down to your cheek. Let your arm lift your head. Give your neck a break. Let your left hand down. Inhale, raise your right arm. Exhaling, let it drape over your head. Let the weight of your arm gently bring your head over to the right. And if you wish, extend out through your left fingertips. Let your left hand down if it's raised. Remember to let your neck be passive. Let your hands slide across the top of your head, slide down to your face, and let your arm nudge your head back to center. Let your hand down. Walk your left hand behind you. Bring your right hand over to your left leg. Inhale, lengthen out through the crown of your head. As you exhale, invite your body to twist some more. Working your way up from the waist, exploring with each breath to see if there's a bit further to go. Finding the degree of twist that feels like enough. And it doesn't have to be as far as you can possibly go. Maybe enough is much less than the furthest you could go. Let yourself come back through center. Walk your right hand behind you and bring your left hand across. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to twist some more. Maybe one side wants more than the other. Maybe you can't tell what the difference is. The difference between one side and the other might be big, might be small, might be undetectable. That's okay. Let yourself unwind and come back through center. Rest your hands on your knees. We'll do some seated cow and cat breaths. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, draw your heart back, let your head tip forward and down, rounding your spine forward and rounding your spine back. Generally, we get more rounding on the back part of the motion. Now, you never see cows and cats do this, of course, 90 degrees from the traditional way to do cow and cat. But in many ways, it's very similar movement. And we'll start to make some circles. So the next time you come forward, go over to the left. And as you go back, over to the right. And if you started in the other direction, it's okay. After a few, we'll change direction. Maybe, if it's not too much, focus on inhaling for the forward part of the circle, exhaling on the backward half. If that's too many things for your morning brain, you can let that go and just drift. Just let the breath go on its own. After the next circle, change direction if you haven't already. Leading with the heart. Sometimes the head wants to lead. That can make you tip over or maybe make you dizzy. Letting the neck be loose, but not quite disengaged. Still supporting the head. When you finish your next circle, sit up again. Real simple forward fold. Just rest your hands in front of you and walk them forward as far as you can. Wherever that is, I'm cheating for the camera. I'm walking my seat back so my hands don't go off camera. Just go out to as far as you can and let your neck go, let your head drop towards the floor, and breathe into your lower back. Inhaling, walk your hands back and press up to a seat. And let's come up onto our hands and knees. So you might rock forward to do that. You might tip to one side. Square things off so that your shoulders are above your wrists. Your hips are above your knees. Open your hands way up. Feel for your whole palm grabbing the mat or the floor, whatever you got. Here it's a rug. Not bothering with a mat because you get this nice rug. And we'll try some cows and cats here and feel the difference between this one and the seated ones. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale and bring your heart up. Let your head and tailbone come down. Each of us just following the pace of our own breath. And at the end of your next exhale, come back to table. Reach your left foot back, press the ball of your foot against the floor, push your heel away from your tailbone, take a couple of breaths. With your next inhale, reach that foot straight back in the air like you want to make a footprint on the wall. It's handy having your stuff on screen. You can check the alignment of your leg. We want to go for length, not height. Sometimes we go like this. That's not what we're going for here. Roughly parallel to the ground. And if you're oriented so you can't see the alignment, that's okay. Just a suggestion that's working for me in the moment. With your next inhale, reach your right hand forward. Thumb pointing up, fingertips reaching for that other wall. I'm checking my arm. It's pretty level. And then if you want, you could bend that leg. You could reach that hand back and perhaps connect and take hold of your foot or your ankle. Kick against your hand, raise your knee, raise your chin, opening your midline, stretching quadriceps, opening the shoulder. Release the bind if you've got it. Let your knee in your hand back down. Reach back and press into the ball of your right foot. Have a couple of breaths there. On an inhale, pick your foot up, reach straight back through the sole of your foot. With your next inhale, reach your left arm forward. If you like, bend your leg, reach back, see about that bind, that additional stretching. If you can't get the bind, don't worry about it. There was a time I couldn't get the bind. You could still reach back and bend the knee. Release, lower down. Step your left foot up between your hands. Step your right foot up to meet it. Forward fold, hang out in your forward fold, bending and straightening your legs and swaying back and forth. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. See how much bending feels good. See how much swaying feels good. Let your head and your arms be heavy. You might also clasp your elbows. Many people enjoy that. Or clasp your hands behind your head. Some neck traction. Let your hands hang down again if you're doing something else. And gently nod your head, yes. And shake your head, no. Inhaling, lift up halfway. Bring your hands to the front of your legs and press into your hands. Feel for the crown of your head moving forward away from your tailbone, your back lengthening out, parallel to the floor, or roughly parallel. No one's going to come in with a T-square and check if you're parallel to the floor. Exhale, relax down into your fold. Inhale, roll slowly to standing, hands up overhead, bring your hands together. Exhaling, bring your hands to your heart. And here we see Leo is not quite set things up for standing, so we'll just adjust that little tripod and come back. That could be a great video with the guy's head out of the frame. Lift your left shoulder towards your ear, shift it back, and let it down. Lift your right shoulder, send it back, and let it down. Inhale, reach out toward the walls. As you exhale, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself, or if you like, you can take eagle arms, intertwine your arms, press your palms together. If you're taking eagle, then you can move your elbows and your hands forward and up, away from the rest of you. Inhale to spread your wings. Exhale, cross the other way. Grab your shoulder blades or take eagle. If you're an eagle, elbows and hands up and out, away from your face, away from your chest. Inhale to open up. Exhale to let your arms down. Inhale your arms out and up overhead. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms to the ceiling. Look up at your hands, lift up your heart. Inhale to bring yourself upright. Exhale, bend to the left. Feel for length through both arms. Try not to lift your right heel up or let your right shoulder curl forward past your ear. Inhale to come upright again. As you exhale, bend to the right, keeping left heel anchored, left shoulder back. Inhale to come up. Exhale, let your arms come down. Let's start into some sun salutations. I'm going to just orient this way. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold forward. Plant your hands and make your way to plank. You can always do plank with your knees down if a shorter plank serves you better. Exhaling, slowly lower all the way down, keeping your elbows in close. See how slow you can go. Find strength in the slowness of everything down. Untuck your toes, rest your chin. Pressing into your hands, inhale, lift your head and chest to whatever height of cobra works for you. Listen to your low back each time we come through the flow. When you're ready, you can do an upward facing dog if you like. With an exhale, rock back, maybe pass through table and slowly make your way to downward dog. Engage feet and legs and arms and walk your dog. Pedal your feet up and down, letting your heels get closer to the floor. Eventually finding some stillness in your dog for a breath or two. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, bring your feet to meet your hands. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come down. Plant your hands and make your way to your plank. This time, maybe, as you exhale, just lower halfway. Elbows still stay in. Inhale, bring your heart forward, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, rock back and up to downward dog. You can always pass through table if you like that transition better. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, come down. Inhale, all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. Plant your hands and step your left foot back. Runner's lunge. You could have blocks under your hands here. The blocks bring the ground closer to your hands. So if I had blocks, I'd have more room for my knee here. It's okay if your chest touches your knee like that, like mine's doing. From here, we're going to go to crescent lunge. So come up on your fingertips. You can do that whether you're using blocks or not. Inhale, reach forward, reach up, and there's your crescent lunge. If the high lunge is too much at any point, you can drop the back knee. You can uncurl the back toes and do this lunge instead. So keep that in mind. It's nice to have options. Think of dropping an anchor from your pelvis to the ground. Exhale, sink forward in your hips. Lower your arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, glide back up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And then from here, exhaling, bring your hands to your heart. And we're going to do a twisted lunge. Keeping your hands centered on your chest, keeping your hands pressed together. Exhaling, twist to the right. Now, the alignment is more important than the degree of twist. Twist as far as you want to. Maybe you come down and bring your elbow to the outside of your knee, and the elbow pressing against the leg deepens the sensation of twist. And if you want to here, you might spread your wings. Try that variation. If your hands are spread apart, bring them back together. Inhale, come back through center. Lots of core work there. Exhale, let your hands down. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Take 3 cleansing breaths in your downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Pausing for a sip of my water and coming to the other side. You, of course, don't need to come to the other side. You can if you like. I'm doing this for the camera. Same thing on the other side. When you're ready, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come down. Plant your hands and step your right foot back. Runner's lunge. Tend to your fingers. Inhale, reach forward, reach up. Settle into your crescent lunge. Exhale, sink forward, lower your arms. Inhale, glide back and up. Repeat a couple more times. And exhaling, bring your hands to your heart. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly twist to the left, any amount. Tip forward, maybe the elbow hooks outside the knee, maybe it doesn't. If it does and you like, you might open your arms. If arms are open, bring your hands together. Inhale, untwist and straighten up. Exhale, lower your hands. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Take 3 cleansing breaths again in downward facing dog. Let your knees gently down. And we'll take child's pose for a minute. Bring your big toes to touch. Widen your knees apart if you like. Sit back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward. Let your head come down to the floor. If your head doesn't quite reach the floor, maybe you stack your hands and rest your forehead on the back of your hands. You might also have a yoga block under your forehead, or maybe you have some pretty pillows nearby. You could rest your head on a pillow or two or a folded blanket. You want your head to touch down on something so your neck can disengage. And speaking of disengaging, if you want to give your arms more of a break, you might reach your hands back by your feet. And just do a little scan. See how your body feels, what has changed from the start of practice. It's like a mini Shavasana, right? Anytime we come to stillness for a few breaths. Come back to that introception, that cultivating of the witness self. Feeling the movements of your breath. When you're ready to come out, bring your hands forward if they were reaching back. Inhale, come up fast to the table, and take your time to return to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up high, bend your knee, and stack your hips. You could either flex your foot and circle your knee a couple times each way, or if you like to flip your dog, you might flip your dog. Square your hips down. Exhale, draw your knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, reach your leg up. Exhale, draw your knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, reach your leg up. Exhale, draw your knee towards your chest. Send your foot over to the right side. Rest the outer edge of your foot on the floor. Star pose. If you want to go further from here, you might go to fallen star. Bring your right hand in towards your heart. Reach it up towards the ceiling. Twist onto the inside edge of your right foot. Exhale, lower your hand. If you raised it, come back on the ball of the back foot. Draw your knee to center. Reach your leg up high. Exhale, lower your leg. Inhale, lift both heels. Maybe you rock onto your toes. Exhale, lower your heel. Inhale, raise your right leg. Bend your knee. Stack your hips. Flex your foot and circle your knee, or flip your dog if you like. If you're flipped, softly flip back. I think I left that cue out on to do the first side. Oops. But anybody who flipped figured it out. Square your hip down. Exhale, draw your knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, reach your leg up. Don't mind me thinking out loud. Exhale, draw your knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, draw your knee towards your chest. Send your foot over to the left side for star pose. And if you like, continue on to fallen star. I'm always learning, and when I spot I've made a mistake, I want to note it. And I guess I don't have to share it out loud, but apologies to anyone who flipped their dog the first time we did that. And then we're cursing me maybe because I missed a cue. No, not cursing. Maybe confused. Exhale, lower your hand. Why is he talking so much? Draw your knee to center. Reach your leg up high. Exhale, lower your leg. Inhale, lift both heels. Maybe come onto your toes. Exhale, lower. Walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's explore a little here. Some deep stretching for the back body with gorilla pose. So you're hanging out in your forward fold. Lift the toes and ball of your foot and slide your hand under your foot to whatever degree you can. So you want to bend your knees to do this. Don't strain your legs. And the furthest you might go would be the ends of the toes and the wrist crease. So most of the hand is under the foot. If it doesn't go that far, it's okay. And then do the other foot and the other hand. And then with your feet under your hands like that, slowly and gently lengthen your legs. Notice I didn't say straighten. I'm not going to get anywhere close to straightening my legs. I'm just exploring what it feels like to head in that direction. So lengthen the legs, deep stretch in calves, hamstrings, glutes. You'll also feel this maybe in your shoulders, maybe anywhere in your back, maybe in your arms, definitely in your hands because you're smooshing your hands with your feet. Let your legs relax, deep bend in the knees. Lift the front of one foot, take your hand out. Lift the front of the other foot, take your hand out. Inhale, roll slowly to standing, hands up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And if your hands went a little numb, you might shake them out. Do what my colleague in Boston, Eliza, calls starfish dance party, which is basically any silly random movement with your hands. Let's play with some balancing here before we sit down and start to cool down. Bring your hands to your heart. Set your eyes on something straight ahead that won't move to anchor yourself, help steady yourself. Shift your weight from one leg to the other with your feet planted. When you're ready, bring the weight into your left leg. Pick up your right knee. Like opening a door, bring your knee out to the side. And then you're going to bring your right foot to your left leg. Maybe your toes or ball of the foot on the ground, heel on the ankle. Maybe the sole of your foot nestled against your calf muscle. Maybe the sole of your foot on your thigh, just never pushing your knee sideways on the wrong axis. And your hands can stay at your heart, pressing together and pressing to your chest for steadiness, or the branches of your tree can grow anywhere, any shape you want. And maybe your branches are more still, or maybe you explore movement. Maybe there's breeze in your branches. Closing your eyes will make the wind pick up. For most people, there are some rare folks who find their tree steadier with their eyes closed. I don't know how that works. That's not how it works for me, but I have seen it. I've heard people describe it. Different strokes. If your hands aren't at your heart, you can bring them back to there. Pivot your knee forward. Let your foot down. Shake out your left leg. And anything else that you want to shake. Some of us like a little dance. When you're ready, bring your hands to your heart. Shift your weight back and forth again, as many times as you like. You're welcome to get ahead. If you don't want to go back and forth as many times, maybe you know some other way to get to tree and you want to go there. Bringing the weight into your right leg, lifting your left knee, bringing it out to the side, and bring your foot to your right leg. Lots of different ways to get there, from standing to tree pose. Let the branches of your tree go wherever they want to go. Maybe you explore a bind. Different binds with the arms and the hands can help you sort out things in different parts of your back, feeling to different sensations in the back muscles. This particular bind is the one that feels really good to me. Sometimes we press our hands together behind the back. We call that reverse prayer. This one, I had a student that really enjoyed this. People do this, this, hands behind the back and reaching towards the floor and lifting the gaze. Lots of things you might do. And you can put your foot down and pick it up and start over again anytime. Maybe it doesn't stay there the whole time. When you're ready, bring your hands back to your heart. Pivot your knee forward. Let your foot down. Shake things out. Shake as needed. Drink as needed. Have a seat. We'll all meet sitting down. So first we'll sit with legs extended and feet flexing back towards you. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold down over your legs. If your knees want to bend, let them bend. And we'll see about deepening the fold using the action of your breath. As you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. As you exhale, think of lowering down. I resist grabbing my feet or my legs and using my arms to yank myself further down. Find it more beneficial to let the breath do the work. Inhale, slowly sit yourself up, walking your hands up the front of your legs. I'm just remembering my camera position here. A moment as I tilt this thing back to where we had it before, so don't lose my feet or part of my legs on the next bit. Let your arms help your legs separate to whatever degree is all right for you. Walk your hands down your legs to wherever you can. Maybe it's your knees, maybe it's your shins, maybe it's your ankles, maybe it's your feet. And we'll explore a bit of twisting and some half binds. Slowly bring your left hand over by your right hand. Take a couple breaths. Then slowly open your right arm out to the side. Turn your head to follow your hand. And then if you like, you could rotate that arm and bring the back of your hand to your low back, or maybe even it comes over by your left hip. I don't know if my hand is visible on the camera there. My hand is by the opposite hip. Yours might be on your sacrum or somewhere in between, or reaching higher up the back. See what feels nice for you. Draw that right shoulder back. Extend your arm, rotate it again, and slide it back over here. Right hand returns to meet the left. And slowly bring your left hand back over to the left leg or left foot. And we'll do it all again. Take your time to bring your right hand over by your left. Have a couple breaths. Open your left arm to the side, turn your head, retract your hand. Rotate your arm, bring the back of your hand to your lower back, and peel your left shoulder back. You might want to be mindful of how close you're sitting to things when you set up for this. Had I not been watching my hand, I might have knocked the 4-foot brass tray onto my head. This background that another yoga teacher built, or maybe more than one. I think it's been shifting around a bit. Somebody comes in and decides they want to rearrange the pillows. Change is good. Extend your arm again, rotate your palm forward, slide your left hand back over to meet your right, and bring your right hand back over to the right side. And walk your hands up the front of your legs, using your arms to help you sit up. Use your arms, nudge your legs in towards each other, bring the soles of your feet to touch. A good distance away from you, so there's a big space between your pelvis and your heels. Reach under your ankles and grab the floor. If that's not accessible, you could reach over your ankles and grab the floor. And walk your hands forward, using traction in your arms to come down into our pretzel fold. Let your neck disengage and your head drop towards the floor. Breathe into the middle of your lower back. Slowly scoot your hands back. Press yourself up to a seat. Now draw your heels in as close to your pelvis as you can. I'll just rotate myself here. Feet still together, heels in close. Clasp your hands over the tops of your toes. Wriggle on your seat. Bring the bones in your seat closer to the floor. Tilting your pelvis forward. Inhaling, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhaling, hinge at the hips. Fold forward with your spine nice and long. Maybe your arms pressed down against the inside of your legs, nudging your hips open. When the long spine isn't lowering anymore, let your neck disengage, let your head dip down. Breathe into your hips. Inhale, slowly sit yourself up. Light your arms, up your legs. Push your knees towards each other. Rest the soles of your feet on the floor. Rest your hands on the floor. Wiggle your feet further apart. Then let your knees go back and forth to whatever degree they can or want to. It's okay if your knees don't quite touch the ground here. And you might go further if you like. As your knees touch down, sweep the opposite arm up and lift the opposite hip. That might feel nice. Some days it does, maybe some days it doesn't. There are days my lower back doesn't want me to do that. Today is a good day in the lower back. And bring your feet in closer. You can set your feet this far apart. Your fists next to each other like that is about the same distance that there is between your two hip sockets. So then your ankles and your hips are about the same distance apart. You can bring your hands behind you. Scoot forward toward your heels. Lower onto your forearms. Lower onto your back. So you wind up lying flat. Soles of your feet planted, heels as close to your butt as they can go. Pressing into the soles of your feet. Inhale to lift your hips towards the ceiling for bridge pose. If you want more heart opening, you can wiggle your shoulder blades towards each other under you. Clasp your hands and reach your knuckles towards your heels. Make sure you don't scrunch up your neck. Let the neck stay passive, relaxed. Knees reaching forward toward the toes, hips reaching up towards the ceiling. If you're clasping your hands, unclasp them. Exhaling, slowly let yourself come back down. Explore, bridge, explore. Tripped over a word. Explore, bridge as you like for a minute or so. Inhaling to lift up. Exhaling to lower down. Challenging yourself to the degree you want to. You can make it more challenging by going more slowly, rising up higher, adding some extra breaths at the top as we did on the first one, or repeating, moving shoulder blades in, clasping hands, that heart opening extension. Maybe you don't want to make it more challenging. You take extra breaths at the bottom. Maybe you find smaller movements work better for you. Depends on what's going on in your body today. Maybe just little movements, lower bridges. Pretty much infinite variety in how you might vary the movement. Let the next exhale and lower be the last one. Pause after you land. Cross your left knee over your right knee. If that doesn't work for you, you might cross your left ankle over your right knee. Reach your arms out to the sides, feel your shoulder blades press to the ground. Keeping your shoulders on the ground, let your legs fall to the right and turn your head to the left. Slowly bring your legs and your head back to center and switch the cross of your legs. And we'll twist the other way, legs going to the left and head going to the right. Slowly come back to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest. Hug your knees and rock and roll on your back. Massage it against the floor. Whatever movements feel good in your back. Sometimes it's bigger movements, sometimes smaller. I'm making these small circles with my knees further away to really massage right on the sacrum, because that's what my body's asking me to do. Bring your knees in, reach your feet up, reach your hands up, grab your legs or your feet, any way you like. Play with bending and straightening those arms and legs. Happy baby pose. If you want to explore a different inversion, you certainly can. Feel free to invert however you like. And here too, whatever degree of movement you like is fine. Whatever movements your body wants. And you can invert for as long as you like. Maybe a minute was enough. Maybe you want some more. When you feel complete with your inversion, you start to make your way to your final resting pose. Maybe that's the traditional corpse pose. Legs extended, feet splayed open, hands resting at your sides. But if that's not comfortable, please get comfortable. Because you can conclude practice in any posture where you can be comfortably still for a few minutes to just breathe and integrate the benefits of your practice. Allow yourself to adjust. If what was comfortable a few breaths ago isn't comfortable anymore, change, move. Eventually finding your comfortable stillness. Breath getting slower and deeper, just as it did when we started. Body relaxing a little bit more with each breath, like coming a little closer to the ground on each exhale. Maybe you just focus on your breathing. Maybe you return to reflect upon an intention you had set for yourself at the start of your practice today. Or maybe, with intention, you let your mind wander. It's different when you do it on purpose than when it just happens as it does to all of us without meaning to wander. Maybe scan your body again as we did at the start of practice, going from head to toe, or toe to head if you prefer. Just check in with each zone, each part of you, maybe noticing each point of contact with the floor, how that body part or region feels, what the breath is doing there, what has changed from the way things felt when we started practice. In this position, where do you feel your inhales? Where do you feel your exhales? What kind of movement comes with each part of the breath? How does it change as the breath continues to deepen and slow down? Start to find some even, intentionally deeper breaths. Bit by bit, start to move around. Small movements, gradually leading to suggesting bigger movements. Any movements your body wants. Take your time. When you're ready for bigger movements, gently, mindfully make your way back up to a seated position. If you like, bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for coming together and sharing practice today. The light within me sees and honors that same light within each of you. Namaste. Again, I'm Leo Bray for Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center, coming to you from Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center here. Visit us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook. You can check out the rest of our class schedule. We've got classes every day. And don't forget the tip jar. You can contribute to support our Zoom classes via PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. Thanks for joining me. And I welcome questions and feedback always. And that's not just for the folks right here on Zoom, but those watching later on YouTube. Feel free to drop comments and help me become a better teacher. Have a wonderful day.